Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's thought for the day. Wow, I should say that was the week that was twice over. Um, as you know, we were off in our caravan for a couple of weeks. We went down to the West Country, um, and for those of you that go to New Wine, if I say to you it was really new wine weather, but without the fellowship and the worship, you will know that it was both wet and windy. Um, I suppose our trouble started on the M5 down when it was horrendous rain coming down there, which sort of puts a bit of a cloud on where you're going. When we got to the site, the site people said, whatever you do, don't try putting your awning up today. It's too windy. Boy, was it windy. We managed to get the awning up the next day and then looked out at the weather and thought, we like to coastal walk when we're away, but of course it wasn't really that good a day. We managed to get into Ilfracombe and have a wander around and spent the next maybe 3 days stuck in the caravan while it chucked it down outside, and then we went off somewhere else. But I suppose the adventure of the fortnight, we decided we'd been told by some local people about getting to Saunton Sands and how to get there. Well, we'd walked part of the route and thought, oh well, there's a place you can drive to get to a car park nearer. So we thought we'd try that. And off we drove down this little narrow road, which I hate. And before we knew it, we'd gone past the turning. Now, those of you that know Devon roads will know that most of them, if you go past the turning, you've got to keep on going. So we followed this other vehicle, carried on going round and round, and we ended up doing a big loop and came to another car park. Oh, this looks interesting. £2.50 for the day, free cuppa, tea or coffee included in that price for one person, but can't be bad. So we parked up, looked at the signs, got our walking boots on, and we found that there were several routes that you could take. We thought, well, we'll take that one, that's a short one, we'll take the blue one. Goes down to the beach, sounds all right to me. Let's get going, the weather's on our side. So off we went. So we got to the gate, no signs. Nothing there to say whether you went straight on, turn left, turn right, or whatever. Well, the people walking up, so we carried on walking down. And the warning bells should have sounded earlier when at 2 points, we'd seen no military vehicles beyond this point. And looking at the prints on the ground, should have been a double warning because they were prints of military vehicles. What we had ended up on was a training ground used by the military, but it was also open to the public to go and wander off to get themselves down to the beach. So off we tracked. This way, says my gallant husband. I'm thinking, no, let's go straight on. No, we'll go this way. The pathway looks slightly easier. Well, we did that. About 3/4 of an hour later, once we climbed back up the other side of this sand dune, only to be faced with another dip and rise. Oh, okay. So we carried on to yet another dip and rise. Okay, where's the beach? We could hear the sea, and at a couple of high points, we could actually see the horizon. As we went down, we found a sign. I thought, oh, signage at last. See what that says. And we'd actually found out we ended up on the World War II walk that was on this ground, and realised that this was the beach that was, or the area that was used by the Americans for rehearsing for the D-Day landings. So I'll give you an idea of what sort of terrain we were in. And both of us not terribly fit, going down and up. But eventually we saw a fence at the top of the next rise. Okay, we've got to be getting near it soon. We got up to the top, walked our way around and found a crossing point, and then there was the beach. Wow, it was certainly worth the climb. But then we had to find out how to get down, because we were way up here and the beach was way down there. No pathway, nothing. So we carried on walking. In fact, we carried on walking back the way, the direction that I wanted to come in the first place. So we then find this dip. Now this beach would put the Witterings to shame when the tide was out, because it went, I don't know how far. At one point we were sat having our lunch there. There was a lady along the beach, decided to go for a swim, and by the time she'd got to the water, in your eye's view, she was about that big. So that's how far down. But it was unspoilt. Very, very few people there that found that space. The waters were quiet and were calm. And I'm thinking, how would that have related to one of Jesus's parables? And I suppose the one that came back to me was the wide gate and the narrow gate. That this idea of, yes, we can go in to take what seems to be the simplest route, the easiest route, but we end up probably with disappointment. With this, it was hard going. We certainly achieved a lot more than we had thought we could achieve, because we were both unfit. Hadn't been out much over the last 18 months for some reason. But we had achieved this. We'd got there. We'd climbed the sand dunes. We'd got down the sand. It was all sand, so you can imagine what it's like trying to walk back. Now, once we finished lunch and we decided to go back, we looked across from where we're at our high point, and both of us said, "Oh, look, there's a nice path over there. Do you think that's the way we should go?" Well, the I think it was an hour and a quarter, hour and a half to get there. It took us 20 minutes to get back, because we'd actually found a pathway that was flat-ish, well-trodden, plenty of footprints on it, one hill, which was miraculous considering what we'd come through. And yes, we passed the army vehicles as they drove past us and waved to us and thanked us for getting out of their way. It was an adventure. But it tied in with another thought that I'd had in the very high winds. When we were looking out from the caravan window, the caravan was doing that. I was feeling seasick. But the three main poles of our front awning were held in place by storm straps. The awning didn't move on those 3 points. It reminded me of how strong we are in Father, Son and Holy Spirit. Those three factors, those three anchor points. You are my anchor. You hold me down. You keep me in place. So whatever we got up to outside of this space, I took that thought with me. If we can achieve that, if we can manage to get through that, we can manage to get through anything, as long as we have Father, Son and Holy Spirit with us. As long as those three are in our lives, in our prayers, in our thoughts, we can conquer and do anything. So that's my wittering for today. I hope something comes out. I hope the weather's going to brighten up. It's still pretty cloudy out there. I would like some dry weather to dry everything out. Although I will say, the weather was very kind to us. It allowed us to take our awning down dry, pack away before it rained again. So be safe. Looking forward to the 19th of July with a little trepidation. Please remain safe. Lovely to be back with you. See you all soon. Take care. Bye for now.